Alright, welcome back to my channel. This is BJPen85. I want to recap the event that has just passed before we go into breaking down the fights. I had a max bet on Leron Murphy that cashed. I had a max bet on Austin Lingo that cashed. I also had a max bet on Ricky Simon plus Evlev that also cashed, which means that in total, people that follow me should be something like 11 units up. Since I signed up also 4 months ago on betmmas, I have collected a straight pick record of 15-0, 100%. So let's say you put big money on my straight pick from the beginning, you would have won 15 times. And this is not 15 times on a favorite at minus 400. This is at minus 160 average. Isn't that cool, huh? That's pretty cool. And not surprisingly, this has also resulted in me winning 12 out of the 14 events since I started. So, if you can, please like and subscribe my channel if you want me to produce free content here on the podcast. It helps me a lot. It helps with the inspiration and the drive to keep on. So, thanks in advance. Now, let's get down to business. Alright, so to a newly announced fight between Martin Day and Valiev. Julia Arce is out. There are no odds available. We can only speculate, so I will set the odds at minus 300, minus 350, Martin Day plus 250, plus 300, so there will be no odds for us. The line is way too easy to set. Martin Day sucks. So we just gotta pray to the MMA gods or whatever you call it to have the bookies setting this line completely wrong. I don't think so. It's too easy to observe the skill discrepancy between Valiev and Martin Day. So they will just set the line at minus 300. So your only hope is to get a decent price on Valiev by decision. I think that's the most likely method of winning for him. So I'm going to pick Valiev to win a semi-boring decision over Martin Day. Okay, so to a catchweight fight between Osbourne versus Denise Psycho Bonder. Bonder coming in minus 170, Odd Osbourne plus 150. I'm going to be pretty brief about this because it's quite easy to break down. I think that Odd Osbourne is a good striker, but he lacks ground game. Denise Bonder is pretty well rounded. He has decent striking. His ground game is his specialty. I do think he will just come down to Odd Osbourne not having takedown defense and Denise Bonder having pretty good takedowns and submission and grappling. Don't know if Denise Bonder going to get the finish, but I'm pretty sure he's going to win the fight. Minus 170 is a little bit too steep. If I could get in the area of minus 130 to minus 150, I would most likely play Denise Bonder. Not a lot, just maybe like half a unit to 1 unit, but as of now, I think the price is too expensive, but I definitely like Denise Bonder. I do think he will stay in the UFC. Odd Osbourne is most likely just going to get grounded from now on and out and will most likely get cut. So my pick is going to be Denise Bonder, either to win by submission or decision, but I'm not going to bet it. Okay, so the lightweight contest between Alex De Silva versus Devonte Smith. Devonte Smith minus 105, Alex De Silva minus 115. Okay, I do not have any particular strong opinion either side. I just think that if Alex De Silva is able to take down Devonte Smith, hold him up against the cage, a bit like he actually did against Brad Riddell, he might win this fight. Devonte Smith, he's got that awesome record. He's knocked out every opponent he has won except one, where he won by a triangle choke. He's obviously a little bit more athletic, more powerful on the feet. He has pretty good movement on the feet. It's just, if Alex De Silva can try to slow him down, just like Dustin Poirier slow down Conor McGregor, will Devonte Smith have as much power in round 2 and round 3? So for me, this is just a pause for those reasons. If I'd seen more of Devonte Smith's grappling, I could be more confident. But as long as he just knocks out people, it's a lack of tape there. But what I know from experience is that normally when people just win by knockout, that doesn't really forces a fighter to improve. So To me, I kind of assume that Devontae Smith has a big hole in his grappling and that he might likely get taken down. And this is the fight where he goes back to the drawing board and say, okay, my grappling isn't where it should be. Should probably strap on my gi and do some BJJ. So I do lean Alex de Silva to probably just make this fight pretty muddy and clinchy and grindy. And if this fight goes all the 3 rounds, I think that Alex de Silva should be favored. So because of that, I do think I'm going to actually pick Alex de Silva here to win by decision. Okay, so to women's bantamweight division, we got a matchup between Edwards coming in plus 165, Rosa minus 190. All right, so the public flowing in on Rosa. I can't understand why. There's things to like about Rosa. She averages significant strikes landed per minute at a whopping 9.7. She has nice combination, often finishes her combination with a low kick. I'm a bit skeptical to her movement. She seems to like to stand and trade a little bit like a kickboxer. And she does accumulate a lot of damage, absorbs around 7 strikes per minute, which is a lot. Edwards, she will throw with less volume, she will move in and out with flurried, so it's kind of a clash style-wise here. I do believe Edwards might have the advantage on the ground, but I'm not sure if she will be able to get the takedown. Judging by her last fight against Wu, she got taken down but was unable to reverse. The one time I can remember she went for an actual double leg, the shot was way too high on Wu's hips and it looked awful. So if this is a representative takedown attempts from Edwards, she's not going to get it. And if so, we're in for a 3-round kickboxing fight with a sheer volume of Rosa might get her the nod. I'm not sure if the line is correct here. The line seems a little bit wide, but it all comes down to what fight we're getting here, and I'm not confident in predicting how this fight will look like, so for those reasons, I won't bet the fight. As of now, it's a kind of a reluctant pick on Carol Rosa by decision, probably because the public money is swaying me a little bit towards that direction, but as of now, it's no pick, but I'm going to pick Carol Rosa to win by decision. Alright, Zalal versus Choi. Choi comes in as a plus 150 underdog on Bookmaker, plus 165 on Bet Online, Yusuf Zalal minus 190 on both bookies. Okay, so the key aspect to bet or not bet this fight is to assess Zalal's takedowns. Let's go to Fight Metric. Fight Metric says that against Austin Lingo 6-1, he lost 2-0 against Griffin, so he didn't get any takedowns on Griffin. He then got 3 takedowns against Barrett, and he lost 5-0 against Topuria in terms of the takedowns. So, for me, I think that he will still be able to take down Choi, or at least taint and muddy this fight for Choi, because Choi, he doesn't want to grapple at all. Choi just wants to have a boxing matchup, really. That's what he wants. Stand in the middle of the cage and just trade. But I'm afraid that Zalal will be able to at least get 1 takedown where he will get Choi down. And I'm also afraid that if this fight keeps standing, that he will still be able to just move around Choi and be competitive, if not win in the standing, and then maybe clinch and not be a sitting target for Choi, because Choi is not very smart, in my opinion. He does seem to come aggressively forward, stalking his prey, so to speak, but he can get a little bit of... he can overcommit a little bit and then get taken down as a result against... who was it? Let's see, who was it? Choi, you faced Gavin Tucker, was it? I think it was in the second round against Gavin Tucker. He was grounded in round 1. So one would think that, are you going to play it smart and not overcommit on strikes? Nope. He does a spinning roundhouse kick or a spinning back fist, I think. It's just like, why are you doing that? You just got grounded for 1 round. Why are you thinking about spinning around and become an easy target to be taken down? So that's the level of fighter IQ Choi has. I don't think I don't think he will win this fight based on just being a jackass to being a fucking knucklehead. So to me, I'm going to side with the more varied attack of Zalal, more grappling based fighter in Zalal, most likely to win a unanimous decision win over this knucklehead of Choi. Alright, so to the women's flyweight division, we got a matchup between Lara Procopio plus 140, Molly Mcann minus 160. Not going to bet this fight. Reason is that if I start to bet Molly Mcann at minus 160, I can't be sure Lara Procopio doesn't have the stand-up advantage. And if I bet Lara Procopio at plus 140, I won't be sure she won't be taken down. So I'm just going to pass on this fight overall, as I don't know Lara Procopio that well. That's what I normally do when I don't feel confident or just it's a lack of tape. I'll just pass. Lara Procopio, she did a pretty decent effort in her last fight against Rosa. She threw like 171 strikes or something out of 300 attempted. So the volume for me is a concern if Molly Mcann for some reason shouldn't get the fight to the ground, which I don't think, but just hypothetically. So I'm just going to pass this fight. I do think still that Molly Mcann is a lot more well-rounded. She got the experience advantage as well, having 6 fights in the UFC. So my pick is going to be Molly Mcann, most likely to win by decision. Okay, so to a light heavyweight fight between Mikey Rordiguez minus 240, Danilo Marquez plus 190. I think that Mikey Rordiguez will win this fight pretty easily. Probably first round stoppage. I don't think the bookies have really understood how padded Danilo record is. If you look through his record, he has not beat one single fighter with a winning record. So, I don't even know why he's getting signed, but that's another topic. So I think that Marquez sucks everywhere. I think like his BJJ hasn't really translated well into MMA. I'm sure the guy is really good with a gi on, but in submission grappling with MMA gloves, he's nothing special. He doesn't have like tons of submissions or anything. So in an ideal world, I would obviously see Mikey Rordiguez keep or close the distance with a jab. It seems to me he likes to use his front kick, but it's not the best way to close the distance. If you have, in this matchup for instance, he has like a 5-inch reach. Why not just use the jabs? But that's his style. I still think that this is closest thing to a mismatch. I got Mikey Rordiguez minus 220. I put 5 units on it. So you guys should jump on this bet pretty soon, because this line will get pretty steamed during the coming week. So the best is to bet him right now before it's too late. So like I said, I bet him at minus 220. The line should be minus 350, 400 range. So when all the YouTubers go bananas on Mikey Rordiguez, blah blah blah, people going to follow. So then the line will get steamed. So now it's the time. If you like Mikey Rordiguez as I do, then you just need to put your money right now. So the pick is going to be Mikey Rordiguez to win by an easy TKO first round. Alright, so MJ and Guida. Guida plus 180, MJ minus 220. So this comes down to if Michael Johnson will get submitted or not. If he doesn't get submitted, he will win this fight standing. I just don't have any confidence in Michael Johnson anymore. I mean, he looks good until he doesn't. So I'm not going to bet Michael Johnson here. I think it's fair to bet on Guida at plus 180. But at the same time, Guida, as long as the fight will stay standing, will most likely lose, and he might take some damage while doing it as well. So it's just impossible for me to make bet either way here, so I'm just going to pass. Even live, you can't trust Michael Johnson. You can still see him outclassing someone, and then next 2 minutes he's on his back and submitted. So for me, this is just a classical pass. I won't have anything to do with this fight. I'm just going to pass it. So I'm obviously going to pick Michael Johnson because he's the better fighter, and he will most likely win before he loses. So maybe I don't think Michael Johnson will get submitted here, because I don't think Guida has the BJJ to do it. He has a okay guillotine, but I don't think he can. I don't see MJ threatening with any takedowns. So I'm just going to pass this fight. Maybe Michael Johnson by decision is going to be my pick. So yeah, let's just go to the next fight. Alright, so to an interesting matchup between Carlos Diego Ferreira minus 125, Beneil plus 105. So I was thinking about betting Carlos Diego here, but after I taped, I changed my mind. I found out that Dariush has become a better striker than I initially thought in terms of BJJ. Both guys are high level. Beneil is world champion. Carlos Diego is a second degree black belt. I don't know if he's also world champion, but I do think that Dariush is the better grappler in MMA. That was also highlighted in their last fight. Obviously, Carlos Diego Ferreira has become the better all-around fighter, so it was much easier for Beneil to actually exploit that ground weakness back then. And I'm sure Carlos Diego has probably not widen, but to shorten that gap a little bit, make that gap a little bit smaller. But I still, in terms of the experience, in terms of what I've seen from tape, it seems to me that Beneil Dariush still have a little edge on Carlos Ferreira in this matchup. So also striking, I was also a little bit surprised. It seems like Dariush also has improved striking-wise. He seems to clip people with his left hook. He clipped both Scott Holzman and Drakkar Klose, so yeah, this fucking sucks, man. I mean, I really wanted to bet Carlos Diego Ferreira, but the tape kind of indicate that Beneil is actually a little bit further right now. So I actually favor him. I think that the lines are pretty okay in terms of the bookies setting the line. I don't see any value on either side. If you like Beneil, that's okay. I don't think you can play Carlos Diego Ferreira here as the favorite. So I'm probably going to just side with Beneil, but it's going to be close. So let's say it's going to be split decision, something like that. But yeah, so the pick is actually going to be Beneil Dariush to win by split decision. Okay, so to the next fight, which is Stamann versus Ewell. Stamann minus 310, Ewell plus 255. I think I like Stamann in this spot. I think he will take down Ewell, considering Ewell has a 9, or not 9, but actually 11-inch reach advantage. So it's obvious to me and to everyone that Stamann should take this fight to the ground, and I am pretty confident he will. Stamann was grounded for the full round against Dos Santos and Wood without showing any ability to get back up, throwing up any submission attempts, sweeps, etc. In addition to this, he gave up his back in the third round against Nathaniel Wood, and he was submitted. So for me, the most likely scenario is Stamann, which is basically the only wrestler Ewell has met, will be able to take him down and win an easy decision, or perhaps a late submission. So I'm not interested in Stamann straight or by decision. For me, this fight is just a complete pass. It is debatable though if there's some value on Ewell by decision at plus 500. It might be, but I'm still passing. So the pick is going to be Cody Stamann to win by decision. So next fight is in the flyweight division. Pantoja minus 135, Manel Kape plus 255. So a little quick introduction about our newcomer here, Manel Kape. He has fought in Asia, in Ryzen, where he has faced guys like Horiguchi, Sasaki, Mitsugaki. His strength lies in the striking department, where he uses his long reach. He doesn't kick a lot, he's low volume, and he doesn't have a lot of power. He's bad of his back, highlighted in his fight against Sasaki, where he lost by decision, due to him not being able to get back up of his back, and the same issue he had against Horiguchi, where he eventually was submitted in round 3. If Pantoja can take this fight to the ground, I think he will dominate Kape, but I don't trust Pantoja to follow this game plan, so for those reasons, this is a pass. Standing, I'm sure that Pantoja can keep up with Kape, but Kape might have the advantage unless Pantoja can land heavy strikes, which is another point why I'm passing. I'm not going to trust Pantoja that he's going to land powerful strikes through the fight, and especially not if he is gassing as he do often in round 3, but my pick will still be Pantoja to win by decision or maybe a submission in the later rounds. Alright, women's bantamweight division, Chiasson minus 210, Renau plus 175. From a betting perspective, this comes down to grappling. Can Renau get consistent takedowns on Chiasson? I don't think so, but I'm not confident enough to make the play. I feel that Chiasson made a series of rookie mistakes during the clinch position against Lina Landsberg. Instead of fighting for underhooks and separate, she sometimes initiated grappling rather than rejecting it. And also there's a wide experience gap between Renau and Chiasson, and sometimes I feel like that impacts the younger fighter negatively. I still think that the most likely scenario here is that Chiasson has the advantage standing with 4-inch reach advantage. She also averages one strike more per minute, 4.4 over Renau's 3.3. I should have more faith in a 29-year-old facing a 43-year-old teacher, but the simple fact is that I don't. If you're playing either girl, my recommendation would be to play one of them to win by decision. So the pick is going to be Chiasson to win by decision, but I'm not confident. Alright, co-main, Sandhagen minus 440, Edgar plus 350. From a betting perspective, this comes down to grappling as well. If Edgar, can he take down Sandhagen? I'm quite confident Edgar will struggle with his entries. His wrestling entries didn't look particularly good against Korean Zombie. At minus 440, it's still a concern. I don't see any value, to be honest. If anyone had a chance while the line was sitting at minus 300, I think that's a fair play for a smaller sum, but at minus 440, I'm not going to play it. If this fight was a 5-round fight, I think the grappling would have been much less of a concern, but in a 3-round fight, I'm afraid of Edgar's takedown. If Edgar can get takedowns, he will most likely not get submitted and is good enough to be able to lay in Sandhagen's guard for some time. I think the Sterling fight is a cause of concern. I know that Sterling is a beast, a lot more athletic than Edgar, and I'm not seeing Edgar being able to submit Sandhagen, but after seeing that lackluster performance from Sandhagen, I feel it's a legitimate question to ask if Sandhagen is weak against the top 5, grappling wise, and especially at minus 440. You can't play minus 440 and have doubts. So this is a pass. Sandhagen will most likely win by decision, maybe a stoppage. I don't know, but this is a complete pass from a betting perspective. So finally to the main event, Overeem plus 158, Volkov minus 180. Currently, I don't like the price on Volkov. To play Volkov here, I think I would need more in the range of minus 140, minus 150. I believe that this fight will stay standing and that Volkov will outstrike Overeem from distance and that Overeem will struggle to get on the inside of Volkov. I have already seen how Overeem fought Sakai, and in my opinion, he lost the first 3 rounds before he took down Sakai, and then only then the momentum shifted towards Overeem. After watching the Blades fight, my assumption is that Overeem will struggle to take down Volkov. Blades had to strike takedowns after takedowns to get Volkov on his back, and I can't remember ever seeing Overeem chain wrestle like that. So the concern with playing Volkov is obviously that despite Overeem being hesitant and somewhat passive on the feet, a striking style Overeem clearly has adopted over the years to take less risk and not end up knocked out, is that Overeem still is quite quick, he's quite athletic and technical, and he may still land a powerful punch. And that fear makes me reluctant to play Volkov overall, but especially at minus 180, I'm not interested. That doesn't mean I won't pick him here. The pick is going to be Volkov to outland Overeem for a late round TKO, or perhaps more likely a decision. So that's it. Okay, February will be a super busy month. I will be back with another episode in a week's time. I have already locked in 4 or 5 bets. Some I have already updated for free on betmmas. For more picks, you can support me at my Patreon. So that's it.